My thoughts that I'm going to present to you today are based on my interactions with my son and my environment around. And what I want to speak to you all is something in addition to what you already achieved in your lives, especially for the fact that you're getting awarded with scholarships today. That means you have done something well academically. I feel that there is much a world beyond academics, and that is what I would like to share with you all through my small presentation. As I said, you already have done a lot with achieving academic success, and what I want to share with you are some personal stories with my son, Sai Pranav, who is aged 15, studying in Sharda Mandir, grade 10. So I will pick up some experiences from his life, and to reiterate the point of what I'm saying, it is not to talk about his achievements, it is talking about what I want to convey, that there is a lot beyond the classrooms. I of course know there are many academicians here who might disagree, but I would like to add them as a point wherein you can say academics is essential, but in today's world you need something beyond, and that is why my talk is titled Beyond Classrooms, right? So when I say, I will give you one example of my son. What so he has participated in many competitions. Many of these competitions, some of them are robotic competitions, some of them have been expensive in participate, some of them been free to participate. But the whole idea of participating in competitions was how do you, how it is given that force of deadline. So whenever you participate in competition, there is a sense of deadline, right? You want to, push yourself to reach to that goal. So that pushing leads you to a concentrated effort on your behalf, to put in efforts in terms of discipline of time management and all these aspects around it, which pushes you to excel. So one example that I would like to add is one example is his ability, how he has reached from speaking to YouTube videos to speaking on a TEDx stage. I will share you through 3 videos of his. So what started at the age of 7, like any other kid, he would play with these Lego bricks, right? You must have seen these Lego bricks. So he would join these bricks, and as a curious parent, I would record what he was doing, and then we started a channel called as Lego Goa, because Lego and then Goa, we made up something called as Lego Goa. Share these videos on the YouTube. Immaterial of the fact that somebody is watching or not on YouTube, right? In today's world, you say whether you have got 100 views or 2,000 views, nothing like that. Just curiosity of sharing what he was doing. So that's the first video I will share with you. This is what he would do.
Today I'm going to introduce you to TV3's Rubik's Cube solver, which is called the Mind Cuber. So first I'll explain you how it works. First I'll explain you about this motor. Why this motor is here? This motor will spin this gear. It will spin this gear, from which these will change the position of this gear.
So as you see, he is explaining a very simple creation which he built on his own at home. You can go to the next one. So what he's trying to explain is a very simple, and I'm just pointing my phone at him, recording this, putting it on YouTube. So this is just the beginning at his 7th year, right? So then what happens is, he goes to a workshop, like any other workshop. There are so many workshops happening. One, Mr. Vincent De Souza, Mr. Vincent Toscano organizes one summer camp in one summer. He says, he's a participant there. He sees this curious kid. He says, would you like to speak to these kids? Right, fine. So that's how his first talk at the age of 10, it is? 7. At the age of 7, this is his first public talk, 150 kids in district library in Nagari.
Goes up and down and pushes this gear's feet. And this gear is connected to all the other gears. So also the other gears.
Before we do thanks, because it takes a lot of courage for a little boy of first standard to come up here, stand in front of 150 of you, and do 1 hour long presentation, right?
So what we started as a YouTube video leads him to speak at his first talk, right? Now let's see what next step happens. The next one, this is the next expansion.
I have always dreamt of having friends like the superhero Iron Man a robot Doraemon. Now, you must be wondering, what kind of problems does this 10-year-old have? I can't solve the Rubik's Cube either. All you need is two things. One, access to the internet, and two, the heart of a child willing to learn and play. My love for robotics has earned me the most unusual playmates, my parents. It was my dad who nurtured my love for robotics and my mom who teaches me how to code. So, do you still want to wait for Doraemon to hand out gadgets to solve your problems? I would rather not. Thank you.
So, what I want to highlight here is what started as a hobby at home led him to a stage which is public platform, right? So, what I want to highlight here is something which is very small, if done over a consistent period of time, can give you success in terms of public speaking. This is just one example. Now, in this entire example, the school or the classroom is only giving you certain, but this is going beyond classroom, right? It is giving you an exposure to speak at a public platform, giving you confidence to speak such a big platform. This makes you ready for the world of the future, which we are looking for. So this is just an example to prove to you that a lot exists beyond classroom. That was just an example to say to you. Now, as you see from this, and whatever he spoke is nothing, it's all about homemade projects, right? Let's Lego bricks that he used for. So it is nothing fancy that you need to study a lot to be able to speak in such a large forum. That's what the whole thing is. Now, what I want to highlight from this slide is this something called as the growth mindset, which we all need to pursue. And to have this growth mindset, we need to try, fail. So, in that talk, before the talk happened, there were so many other instances wherein he tried to give those talks. There was a lot of failure attempts. So all that journey of you trying hard is required to have this something called as growth mindset. This mindset is what will help you to prepare for the future. So when I say, and practice in public. So the initial attempts may not be in public, but as you keep on doing this again and again, you will get an opportunity. The student or anybody else who wants to try this, you'll surely get an opportunity to present in public, and you'll get the confidence to do that in public. Eventually what will happen is, you will not have that fear, which typically any 15-year-old or any 20-year-old who's sitting over here will be having that fear. Can I come today? Suppose I just say to you, would you like to speak here for 2 minutes? Most of you will be scared to do that, right? And that scare comes from the fact that you have never gotten the opportunity to do that. It is not that you don't have the ability to speak. You certainly are one of those cycloners out over there. I'm sure about it. It's only the fact that you have not got that opportunity, and the opportunity only will come through practice. And for practice, you have to do those micro steps. So wherein I will come to my next slide. Wherein we say, typically this is what happens, right? In the schools when we go, there's something called as extracurriculars. And the moment we say extracurriculars, in the mark sheet, it comes like, and what are we considered? Are we getting that, what you say, satisfactory or good? It's not counted in the academic part. Many of us pursue extracurriculars, for example, for example, Reuven was a very good sportsman. There are many of us who do pursue sports, but there are many of us, the moment they get into strong academics, feel that extracurriculars becomes a waste of time. Because we do not value what extracurriculars gives to us. And why in the first place they were included in the education system. We have forgotten why they have come in. Each of these points, if you see, for example, what does sports teach us? Sports teaches us teamwork, right? Resilience, handling defeat. The most important thing which sports teaches us is handling defeat, which no other aspect will give you so often. For example, when we play a football match, it's so common to see the team losing and bouncing back in the next match. But does not happen to us in real life. In real life, any defeat or any failure, we take it so seriously. For example, if I do not deliver a good talk presently, I will have that burden on me. Okay, I'm not able to deliver this talk. That burden is so strong on me. But the moment you're a sportsman, all these things become part of your life. So we don't give the respect that sport deserves to be given. The next point is drama and debate. Many of us are part of it. But do we really see that drama gives us this confidence? It gives us the clarity of expression or public speaking. Let's take the third example of art and music. Art and music gives us creativity. So all of these parts, extracurriculars, are already part of our academics. But do we give them the respect that it deserves? That's what I would like to highlight from this slide of mine. The next slide. So, if all that is there, how can we as students or as parents take the next step in saying, how can I make myself better and ready for the future? So these are certain points that I've highlighted that will be much more beyond this. The first one could be projects. These projects, again, in the schools, we are given so many of projects, right? A teacher gives us a project, and most of the projects maybe parents end up doing. And students do put in their effort, but do the projects that are assigned by the teacher are done in the purpose in which it can enhance your personality. For example, Pranav, he does his projects, for example, with the Lego that he built. That Lego toy eventually helped him to build a robot, and that robot he took onto the competition. So do our projects give us that kind of a pathway to keep on building on it, or is just a submission for the sake of submission to the classroom? So projects provide you that opportunity. Second is competitions. Many of these competitions you must be already participating in. For example, there could be a debate competition in the school or an intercollegiate chess competition. There are so many competitions that happen. Do we have the time and the bandwidth to keep on participating in these competitions? The third being a portfolio. Portfolio is something which now NEP also talks about very strongly. Portfolio is nothing but a record of our journey. That journey could be in the form of book, like for example, ma'am has written this book. The portfolio could be in the term of a journal that we keep, right? For example, a science class makes you keep a journal. The journal is how you have conducted those experiments. Now, this portfolio can lead to a much more, in which I will now give another example from the life of Sai Pranav. So, how can parents and students take these small steps toward this? For example, students can say, pick one small project this month, enter into a competition, or share your progress publicly. For example, you say you have done something, you can share it publicly within your classroom or within your friend circle. And if you can commit 30 minutes thrice a week to this kind of activities which will give you, beyond the classroom. And for parents, what can parents do here? Parents can prioritize process over grades. Grades are important, of course, but can we also have this? Can we arrange parents have some low-cost opportunities? Not all competitions are cheap. There could be some other cheaper alternatives also. Encourage public sharing. This is the most important part, which is today happening in social media. But are we sharing the achievements, not just photographs in social media? We can also highlight, for example, if your child has done a project, can it be written as a press article and sent to the local press? So that creates an opportunity for sharing publicly. And use phone instead of fancy gear, because a phone today is as good as a camera. So all these steps parents and students can take to as a practical pathway towards doing this. The next point. Now, I will give an example here about when I said about a portfolio, right? So let me give you an example, personal example again. 2020, I and my wife, when I was sitting here, we always wanted our son to write whatever he's doing, document his journey. That's how we made him document this in his own website called as Saieesh. He would blog about which competition he went to, what he learned from the competition. He kept on blogging about these things on his blog. Blogs, you must be aware, right? So when he kept on blogging, after 5 years, we saw that there was a lot of blogs that had accumulated. So there was a prompt from one of our well-wishers. Why don't you convert these blogs and share this in a form of a book? So that's how the book came to publication just recently, and he managed to publish this book. So that's what 170-page booklet that has been published, documenting his journey for the last 5 years, which he has done through various competitions, projects, all that. So small beginning, we started by writing down as a journey, has blossomed into a book. So another example how small steps you can take, which can lead to you becoming or publishing a book, publishing a portfolio. That's an example for that. Next. So today we all talk about AI, right? That's the most fanciest thing that we are all speaking about. And although the world was uncertain, and AI has made it more uncertain today, and we are all wondering, especially the children and the parents, what happens after 5 years? Will the jobs be protected? What will be the scope of the jobs? Will IT be the most important thing? Which will be the most important sector? Will our jobs be taken away? In this uncertain world and this uncertainty, maybe today it is AI. After 2 years, there will be something fancier which you don't even know about. In this uncertain world, what can we make our children do to make them equipped for this uncertain future? And for that, I think the most important part would be the personality of the child, right? Not just academics. And for this personality part, all these small micro steps which are beyond the classroom will make you ready for that uncertain future. So for that, again, it's not a new thing that I'm talking about. Students' interest. So the parents would say the student is not interest is not consistent. That's a typical thing of a young person, right? The interests keep changing. Today, a person could be interested in music. After a few months, it would be cricket. After a few more months, it would be football. So in this uncertain interest, how do you identify which is the most suitable interest for my child? And what can that be his career? So this is such an uncertain thing. But I guess at a deep down level, the parent and the child would always have that commonality in which he's trying to pursue it. For example, in case of my son, whether he wants to pursue public speaking or wants to pursue engineering. So what is that he should pursue in his future? Should he get into IIT or should he get into some foreign university? All these uncertainties will be there. And how do you decide which is the best path? I think that path would be decided mutually, right? And it will not be easy because, as I said, AI is making the world so uncertain. Second point is, can we focus on transferable skill? For example, the skills that we acquire in a classroom, what are those skills? Good study is what we acquire, right, in a classroom. Other than studying, so for studying you need discipline. For example, you are getting good grades. For good grades, you should be studying very hard. And I'm sure most of you, almost all of you sitting over here, already have those qualities of putting in the hard work and achieving the academic success. That same hard work, when you get into a job, you'll be requiring that. So that is why I think when the selections happen for any job interview, they see whether you have scored academically well, because they're not checking your ability to retain or say the facts in the office. What they're trying to see is whether you have the discipline to put in the hard work. So similar skills are required for job industry also. So that is what maybe you have communication, your problem solving, your creativity, all this adaptability. So do you have these skills is what the future market will look like, will be asking for. And this combination is what will help you prepare for the future. So this is what how you can prepare for an uncertain future. Next. Now, that's where I come to the role of parents. How can the parents put in efforts here without being a pressurizing parent, without dominating the child? Can we ask curious questions to the child? I think this is what we are lacking today, because we have become so certain in our classrooms. Everything is defined by the textbook, everything is defined by what is taught in the classroom. Can we go beyond that? As parents, I and my wife, we always go beyond the classrooms. Classroom is just what you learn in the textbook, but there is so much beyond that. So can we as parents keep on pushing the boundaries, asking those curious questions? Instead of asking, why don't you score, what is your score for today's exams? Scores of course are important, but pushing beyond that score also is more important. Create micro stages. When I say this, can we also make a small environment at home wherein we can do experiments at home? Now when we say experiment, these are not those typical science experiments where you put mixed chemicals. Experiments could be anything. For example, writing a short essay at home, or you have read say Harry Potter at home. Can you write a paragraph about what you read today about Harry Potter? That also could be a small assignment at home. model learning. When I say model learning, what I mean here is, can parents be a role model for doing these things at home? For example, what I mean to say here is, when we feel that the moment we have sent a child to a school or to a tuition, our job as parents is done. That's what, if we feel, I think we are lacking over there. We need to be much more than that. We need to create those small microclimates at home where we can, enhance curiosity in the child, or whatever things that we want should be happening at home. So we should be creating that environment at home. And why fear AI? When we know that AI is going to be the future, we can, as parents and child together, use AI to see how it can help us as a tool and not replace our faculties, but we should use it as a tool. So can we use AI at home in a controlled environment? Of course. So that is what I want to say about from this slide. Next one. These are, I just given can we do a 30-day action plan maybe to do this? This is my thoughts about how we can do it. Maybe choose one project. This is for students. In the next few days, you choose one project and decide to implement that. Commit say 30 minutes in a week to do this. Try say one AI tool to accelerate your learning. I'm sure most of you are already using AI. But can we use it to enhance our learning other than just finding out about stuff? And can we track our progress publicly? Can we talk about this, what I'm doing, experiments in AI, and share it as a blog? For example, I am using AI, say for example, can I make a blog out of it and share this as a blog? Most important is the journey of writing that blog. I think Damodar sir will say his journey of writing must have started much before the books that he published. He must have written countless notes, small scribbles that led him to publish and become an accomplished author. So we all forget the hard work that goes into it. Can we make our child write about it? Because writing makes you think and share it publicly. So for which a confidence is required. So can we do that also with our children? For parents, what can we do? Create a small experiment at home, a micro stage. One support action, for example, buy a kit or set a deadline or attend a demo. Can we do this as parent? Ask curious questions at home. Help set up AI, small thing at home like a research or a prototyping or a practice. Or celebrate one attempt or iteration. So all these things we can try, and by the end of 30 days, what would we have? One experiment, or one public share, or one evidence of progress. So if we can do this, maybe we can find a path which I'm trying to share from this journey of mine. So these small actions make courage. Right? The next one. Coming to my last slide. So small, consistent actions make big stage possible. And the formula is what I've written in, a typical physical manner. Academics plus experiments plus public practice plus extracurriculars and plus skills leads to open doors. I'm sure with the academics that you have, doors are open for you. You're already in the path to success. But will that door remain open to you in this world of uncertainty of AI? With these kind of points, like for example, academics you already have, if you add to it the fact that you can keep on continuously experimenting, you can publicly share this. You also have a strong extracurricular and you have the requisite skills, the door will always remain open to you. So beyond classrooms and colleges are the habit loops that make courage, skill and opportunity part of everyday life. That leads to the end of my talk. Although I'm going to take questions earlier, I'm open to questions. Maybe we can make this interactive, is what I wanted to ask you all. As parents, maybe we can share such points.
Any questions? Yeah.
Yes.
So if you were to take your day, how much time would you like to spend on academics and how much would you like to spend on these kind of activities, like the work outside classroom?
I think if you're going to question, there won't be a yardstick, right? I think as we all as parents do understand the importance of academics. But I think there is also, we also know that how much, how would you answer this question? Yeah, I think as parents, we'll always try to strike a proper balance between both of them. We as parents, what we have seen is academics does play a role, but all the holidays we have spent in pursuing competitions. All the free time we have spent in pursuing competitions and projects beyond academics. Yeah, that's my personal experience.
Sorry, I won't stand.
Yes, sir.
But I was just intrigued with the way you bring up your kid. Very impressive. But I just wanted to know, like you said, share on social media. I'm very overwhelmed with the cybercrimes and things like that. We hear and we see. So how do you strike the balance? Because I'm off YouTube, I'm off FB and everything. So how do you make sure that your child is not, his picture is not used unfairly? So how do you ascertain that? But you just take the risk and you just.
Frankly speaking, I have not even thought about what you thought. We just went and shared because for us it wasn't. I don't think 6 years ago this concern was strong enough. Maybe today we are concerned about this. Frankly, I haven't thought about it. Yeah, we just went and had and shared. So, frankly speaking, not many views we have gotten from out of it. So the threat isn't so strong, I guess. But what I can show you is the success is there. So it led to a TEDx performance, it led to a book being published. So success is there.